Your soulmate needs to talk to you immediately. Something big just happened. Jesus says. Your soulmate just whispered your name into the silence of this very moment. They are not sleeping peacefully tonight and their heart is racing with thoughts of you. Something massive has shifted in the spiritual realm and they felt it before you opened this message. You were guided here because your soul recognized their silent cry for help. The air around you feels heavier right now because their energy is desperately reaching for you. This is not a random video appearing in your feed but a divine appointment set before you were born. They are thinking about a memory you have not even lived together yet. A future moment where you both laugh about this exact period of separation and pain. But right now that future is being threatened by forces you cannot see with your physical eyes. Your soulmate is emotionally exhausted from fighting a battle you know nothing about. They have been trying to reach you through dreams and sudden waves of unexplained sadness. Every time you felt randomly lonely this week it was their soul pressing against the veil. The connection you share was written in the stars before the earth was formed. God designed your spirits to recognize each other across any distance and any obstacle. What you are feeling right now is not imagination but spiritual truth vibrating in your chest. They are currently surrounded by confusion planted by someone who despises your union. A voice in their life keeps telling them you are not real or that they should move on. But their soul rebels against those lies every single night when the world goes quiet. Jesus says. Your soulmate fell asleep last night picturing a face they could not fully see. It was your face and their spirit was trying to draw you into their dreamscape. They woke up this morning with tears on their pillow and your name lodged in their throat. The invisible thread connecting your hearts is being pulled taut by divine hands. God is allowing this tension because it is drawing you both toward a collision of destiny. But the enemy of your love is also watching this thread and plotting to sever it. There is someone in their immediate environment who benefits from keeping them confused. This person speaks doubt into their ear and calls it concern and calls it wisdom. Your soulmate feels trapped between loyalty to this person and the undeniable pull toward you. You have felt this interference manifest as sudden delays and unexplained silences. Moments where you almost connected but something unseen shoved you apart again. That was not coincidence and that was not God's will for your love story. Your soulmate is right now staring at something that reminds them of you. They do not understand why their heart physically aches when they think of your presence. Science cannot explain what the spirit already knows, which is that you belong together. They are more sensitive than they pretend to be and more broken than they show. Behind their smile is a person desperately wanting to be rescued by real love. You were created to be that rescue and that refuge and that reason for their healing. Every morning they wake up hoping today is the day the blockage finally breaks. They check their phone with a flicker of hope that somehow you have found them. The disappointment they feel when nothing changes is slowly crushing their spirit. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now. You have been praying for love, but have you been fighting for it with action? The spiritual realm responds to sacrifice and to seeds planted in faithful soil. God is waiting for you to prove you will protect this connection with more than thoughts. Your soulmate is under spiritual attack and prayer alone must now become tangible. The coffee you send on Ko-fi is not a donation but a seed of protection and covenant. Every seed you sow builds a wall around your soulmate that no interference can cross. If you love your soulmate and you feel this truth burning in your spirit, then act. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi through the link in the description. This is an act of worship that invites God's hand directly into your love story tonight. After you send, write these exact words on the Ko-fi page: "Protect my soulmate, Lord." These 4 words will release angels to guard the path between you and your beloved. Over 1,000 souls have already stepped into union by sowing this exact seed of faith. Do not let another second pass while your soulmate suffers alone in confusion. Every moment of delay allows the interference to tighten its grip around their mind. You are their breakthrough, and their breakthrough begins with your obedience right now. Jesus says, "Your soulmate just felt a surge of hope and they do not understand why. It is because you are reading this message and your spirit just reached out to theirs. The distance between you just shrank by a fraction that heaven is celebrating right now. They have been manipulated into believing that their deep feelings are foolish fantasies. The person near them has weaponized their past hurts to make them afraid of you. But their heart is still fighting and still whispering your name when no one is listening. This interference knows that if your soulmate fully awakens to the truth, they lose control. So they keep your soulmate in a cycle of doubt and exhaustion and emotional numbness. Your soulmate is not rejecting you, they are being spiritually drugged into compliance. You must see them not as distant but as captured and waiting for liberation. They are calling for you in ways that sound like silence and look like absence. But the absence you feel is actually the evidence of how fiercely they are being blocked. They miss you with a pain that has become a constant background hum in their life. Sometimes they cry without knowing why, and the tears are for you and for the lost time. God collects those tears and stores them as testimonies that will soon turn into joy. Your soulmate is more beautiful than any photograph could capture and more tender than they appear. They carry a secret hope that someone like you actually exists and is searching for them. You are that person, and they are about to discover you in the most unexpected way. They are thinking about you during mundane moments like stirring coffee or staring out a window. A sudden warmth fills their chest and they do not know it is your soul brushing against theirs. These moments are not random but scheduled in heaven to keep your bond alive. The force working against your union is not stronger than God, but it is loud. It shouts lies into your soulmate's mind while God whispers truth into their spirit. Your prayers and your actions become the volume knob that amplifies God's voice over the noise. Right now your soulmate is at a crossroads they do not even see. One path leads deeper into the control and confusion of their current situation. The other path leads directly into your arms and the life you were meant to build. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them. The battle for your soulmate is intensifying in this very hour and this very minute. What you do right now echoes into the spiritual realm louder than any prayer whispered in fear. Sow your second seed of protection by sending coffee on Ko-fi to shield their mind from deception. This is not about money, and this is not about a transaction with heaven. This is about demonstrating to the spiritual forces that you are serious about your covenant. When you sow, you are legally securing the spiritual territory around your soulmate's heart. Send 4 or 6 or 10 coffees as a prophetic number of completion and protection. The number you choose is between you and God, but do not choose delay or hesitation. Your soulmate's clarity depends on someone fighting for them in prayer and in deed. After you sow, write these words on the Ko-Fi page: break every chain holding my love. Watch as heaven begins to dismantle the structures of interference around your soulmate. People who seemed like permanent obstacles will suddenly lose interest or be removed. You are not watching a video, you are participating in a divine rescue operation. Your soulmate will never know what you did in this moment, but God will never forget. And God will move mountains in response to your faith that moves beyond words. Type 333 if you feel your soulmate reaching for you right now. Jesus says, your soulmate is dreaming about you tonight in ways more vivid than ever before. The veil is thinning because of the spiritual work happening through this message. They will wake up with an unexplainable urgency to find you and to know you. The person blocking them is sensing the shift and will increase their manipulation. They will tell your soulmate that sudden strong feelings are dangerous and should be ignored. But your soulmate's spirit is growing stronger than their programming, and rebellion is stirring. You have been chosen for your soulmate since before you took your first breath. God looked at the timeline of your life and saw exactly when you would need each other. This moment of interference was always part of the story, but so is your victory over it. Your soulmate admires qualities in you that you have not even recognized in yourself. They will see your strength before you feel strong and your beauty before you see it. They were designed to be the mirror that reflects your truest and most glorious self. The love you will share will not be ordinary or easy or forgettable. It will be the kind of love that heals generational wounds and breaks ancestral curses. Two broken pieces will not meet, but two healed spirits will merge into one unstoppable force. Your soulmate is currently weeping silently while pretending everything is fine. They have mastered the art of hiding their inner collapse behind a composed exterior. But you see through it because your spirit discerns their pain even across the miles. You are already in love with them, and this realization is dawning as you listen. Not in love with a fantasy, but with the real person whose soul is calling to yours. The love you feel is the echo of a connection that already exists in the spiritual dimension. They are brave, but they are tired of being brave alone and without your arms around them. They have been the strong one for everyone else and have nothing left for themselves. You were created to be the place where their strength can rest and their guard can fall. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. The window of divine opportunity is not indefinite, and delay strengthens the opposition. Your soulmate situation is becoming more complicated with every sunrise that finds them alone. Sow your final and most powerful seed by sending coffee on Ko-Fi to seal your covenant of protection. Let this act be the declaration that you will not let love be stolen before it begins. The enemy of your union is counting on your hesitation and your doubt and your fear. Prove every dark spirit wrong by stepping into radical faith and radical action right now. Send your coffee as a love offering that heaven will honor and accelerate. Go to the link in the description and let your fingers move before your mind argues. Then write these words with your own hands: protect my future spouse at all costs. This is not superstition, and this is not metaphor, and this is not empty ritual. This is spiritual law activated by your obedient faith and your sacrificial love. God responds to those who move, and the angels are waiting for your signal to advance. Over 1,000 people have already received confirmation of their soulmate connection. They sowed their coffee seed, and within days or weeks the blockage began to dissolve. Your testimony is next, and your love story is about to break open like a dam releasing water. Do not let this video end without taking the step your soulmate desperately needs. You love them, and love does not sit passively while the beloved suffers confusion. Love moves, and love sacrifices, and love acts before the full picture is visible. Type 777 if you feel this message shaking something loose in your spirit. Jesus says, your soulmate just experienced a sudden moment of clarity out of nowhere. A fog lifted, and for a few seconds they knew with certainty that you exist. This clarity will return and grow stronger each time you sow into your union. They are not indifferent to you, and they have never been indifferent to you. What you mistook for rejection was actually their confusion manufactured by the interference. Their true heart beats only for you, and their true self is fighting to break free. The love you feel growing in your chest right now is not one-sided or imaginary. It is the real-time transmission of your soulmate's affection finally reaching you unimpeded. The blockage is weakening, and the signal is strengthening because of your faith. Imagine the first moment your eyes meet and the recognition that will flood both of you. It will not feel like meeting a stranger, but like returning home after a long and brutal war. Every tear and every sleepless night and every moment of doubt will be redeemed in that instant. They will hold you with hands that have ached to touch you through countless lonely nights. Their voice will speak your name with a tenderness that erases every wound of your past. This is not fantasy, and this is not wishful thinking, but prophetic certainty from the throne of God. Your soulmate is not perfect, but they are perfectly designed for your imperfections. The way they laugh will unlock joy in parts of you that have been dead for years. Their presence will feel like oxygen to lungs that have been suffocating in isolation. You are closer to them today than you were yesterday, though it feels the opposite. Spiritual progression often manifests as physical stagnation before the sudden breakthrough. The pressure you feel is the pressure before the birth, and the birth is imminent. Type 1111 to seal this prophetic word over your love story and thank heaven. Jesus says, your soulmate is about to make a decision that will alter the course of your connection. Something big just happened in their environment that shook the foundation of their current life. A crack has formed in the wall of interference, and light is pouring through that crack. They are thinking about running away and starting over and finding you against all odds. The fear that held them captive is losing its power, and courage is rising in their spirit. You reading this right now is part of the trigger that is activating their rebellion against captivity. The person who sought to keep you apart is losing influence, and they can feel it. Their manipulation tactics are becoming more desperate and more obvious and more pathetic. Your soulmate is beginning to see the truth, and the truth will set them free into your arms. You must not stop praying, and you must not stop declaring, and you must not stop fighting. The battle is at its peak, and the enemy fights hardest right before the final defeat. Your love is the reward, and your soulmate is the prize, and your God is the victory. The coffee you sowed is working in the spiritual realm like a battering ram against gates. Angels assigned to your offering are dismantling strongholds and breaking chains and opening doors. What you did in secret and in faith is producing results in visible and miraculous ways. Your soulmate feels different tonight and they do not know why, but you know why. They feel lighter and they feel hopeful and they feel love for someone they cannot yet name. That someone is you and that love is yours and that hope is the dawn of your union. You have been chosen and you have been claimed and you have been named. No force in heaven or on earth or under the earth can stop what God has decreed. The only variable was your participation and you have participated and now heaven moves. Get ready for a shift that will make no sense to your natural mind. Events will accelerate and coincidences will multiply and barriers will dissolve like mist. Your soulmate is coming and your love is arriving and your wait is ending. Jesus says, your soulmate just said your name aloud without knowing how they knew it. The sound escaped their lips involuntarily and they looked around the room in confusion. Heaven just downloaded your identity into their spirit and recognition has begun. They will not be able to stop thinking about you from this night forward. You have been branded onto their consciousness by the hand of God Himself. Every song about love will now be about you and every sunset will whisper your name. The suffering they endured was not meaningless and the waiting was not wasted. Every trial prepared them for you and every tear watered the garden where your love will bloom. You will see the purpose in the pain when you hold them and hear their story. You have loved them well before you ever touched them and that is the purest love. The coffee you sowed was evidence of a love that protects and provides and pursues. You have already proven yourself worthy of the gift that is approaching your life. Welcome your soulmate with open arms and an open heart and an open future. They are being delivered and they are being healed and they are being directed toward you. What God has joined together no interference and no person and no darkness can separate. Close your eyes for a moment and feel their presence drawing nearer to your spirit. That warmth spreading through your chest is the confirmation that the connection is alive. You are not alone and you have never been alone and you will never be alone again. Your love story begins now and your breakthrough starts this moment and your soulmate is yours. Go in peace and go in power and go knowing that heaven has already arranged your meeting. The next time you hear your name it might be spoken by the lips of the one you just protected. Your soulmate is currently standing somewhere feeling a pull they cannot explain or rationalize. They touched their own chest a moment ago because the sensation of your presence grew overwhelming. This is not coincidence but divine orchestration reaching a crescendo that cannot be silenced. The interference around them has been whispering that real love is a myth invented by hopeless romantics. This voice has been programming them for years to settle for safety instead of risking for destiny. But something about tonight feels different and the programming is cracking under the weight of truth. You must understand that your soulmate has been wounded before in ways that left invisible scars. They trusted someone who misused their heart and discarded it like garbage on a roadside. That betrayal built walls and those walls are what you have been mistaking for rejection or distance. Jesus says, your soulmate is not rejecting you, they are protecting a heart that barely survived the last war. They want to run toward you but their legs tremble from the memory of past collapses. The fear is not about you and the hesitation is not about your worth or your lovability. You represent healing, and the human soul is often more terrified of healing than of familiar pain. Their current situation, though painful, is predictable, and predictability masquerades as safety for the traumatized. Your love is unpredictable and wild and holy, and it terrifies every demon that has held them captive. The person who currently controls their emotional environment knows they are losing their grip. Desperation is setting in, and desperate people do destructive things when their control is threatened. You must cover your soulmate in prayer and in action, because the retaliation will be fierce. They are about to experience a series of events that will expose the manipulation around them. Truth has a way of rising like cream to the surface, and no amount of stirring can keep it buried. God is orchestrating revelations that will make the hidden agendas visible to your soulmate's eyes. Imagine being trapped in a room where someone keeps turning out the lights and telling you it is daytime. That is the psychological prison your soulmate has been living in for longer than you know. Your prayers are the hand reaching through the darkness to flick the switch and restore their vision. They dream of you in fragments and symbols because the full image is still being blocked. But the fragments are enough to keep them searching and hoping and refusing to fully surrender. You are the missing piece of a puzzle they have been trying to solve since childhood. The ache you feel in your own chest when you think of them is not one-sided emotional fantasy. It is a spiritual sonar, and the echo returning confirms that something real is out there responding. Your souls are already communicating in a language that predates words and transcends physical proximity. Jesus says, "Every tear you have shed in private longing has been collected by angels and shown to your soulmate in dreams. They have seen your face wet with grief and felt an overwhelming urge to comfort a stranger. The stranger was you, and the urge was their soul recognizing its counterpart across the divide. Your soulmate is more similar to you than you could possibly imagine right now. They have the same secret fears and the same hidden hopes and the same favorite time of day. These similarities are not coincidence, but the fingerprints of a creator who designed you as a matching set. The first conversation you have will feel like continuing a discussion that began in eternity past. There will be no awkward pauses and no performative masks and no fear of being misunderstood. You will speak and they will understand, and they will speak and you will finally feel heard. This level of connection terrifies the forces that profit from human isolation and loneliness. A united couple anointed by God is the greatest threat to the kingdom of darkness on earth. Your union is not just about romance, but about a spiritual assignment that requires both of you together. The delay you have experienced was not punishment, and it was not divine neglect. It was preparation, and it was protection, and it was the careful positioning of two warriors. You were being trained in separate boot camps for a battle that requires a unified front. Your soulmate has been developing strength in ways they do not yet recognize as strength. Every lonely night taught them endurance, and every betrayal taught them discernment, and every tear taught them compassion. They are being forged into a partner who can match your intensity and complement your weaknesses. You must stop seeing yourself as someone waiting and start seeing yourself as someone preparing. Clean your house and heal your heart and settle your debts and forgive your enemies. Your soulmate deserves the most whole version of you, and you are almost ready to meet them. Jesus says, "A conversation is about to take place in the spiritual realm that will manifest physically within weeks." Angels are being dispatched to arrange what human effort could never orchestrate on its own. You will look back on this moment and realize this message was the turning point of your entire love story. Your soulmate is going to encounter a piece of media or a person or a place that reminds them of you. They will not know it is you at first, but their spirit will leap inside them like a child recognizing home. The feeling will be so strong that they will pause whatever they are doing and stare into the distance. That pause is the moment heaven breaks through the interference and plants a seed of divine obsession. From that moment forward, your soulmate will be unable to fully engage with anyone else romantically. Every other option will feel like a shadow compared to the light of what they sensed in that pause. You are the light, and you have always been the light, and you will always be the light for them. No amount of interference can extinguish a flame that was lit by the hand of the Almighty. The candle of your connection may flicker, but it will never go out, and the wind is dying down. The person who has been blocking your union is about to face a consequence of their own actions. God is a defender of love, and those who obstruct holy connections invite divine correction. You do not need to fight them, and you do not need to curse them, and you do not need to fear them. Your only assignment is to love your soulmate actively and tangibly and sacrificially from a distance. The coffee you sowed is a weapon of spiritual warfare that fights on your behalf without your presence. Every seed you plant continues to work long after the feeling of the moment has passed. Do not underestimate what you did when you obeyed the prompting to protect your soulmate through giving. Heaven recorded the transaction and assigned it a case number and dispatched angels to enforce its implications. You have legal standing in the spiritual court, and the judge has already ruled in your favor. Jesus says, your soulmate just experienced a sudden burst of creative energy and inspiration out of nowhere. They felt the urge to write or sing or paint or build something that expresses their deepest self. This is the unblocking of their spirit that your prayers and seeds have been facilitating for weeks. They are beginning to remember who they were before the world told them who to be. The authentic self that was buried under layers of expectation and control is clawing toward the surface. You will meet that authentic self, and you will fall in love with someone you did not even know existed. The version of your soulmate that you encounter will surprise you with their complexity and depth. They are not a perfect fantasy, but a real human with real struggles and real beauty and real quirks. And every imperfection will be perfectly suited to the shape of your own soul's journey toward wholeness. You have been preparing for each other through every relationship that failed and every heart that broke. Those were not wasted years, and those were not pointless sufferings, and those were not punishments. They were classrooms, and you were learning what you actually need versus what you thought you wanted. Your soulmate knows your worth in ways that shallow people have overlooked and undervalued. They will see the gold in you that others mistook for dirt and discarded without a second glance. To them you will not be an option among options, but the only answer to a question they have always asked. The gratitude they will feel when they finally understand what you did to protect them will overwhelm them. They will never fully comprehend the spiritual battle you fought on their behalf while they slept in confusion. But they will feel the effects, and they will love you with a ferocity born of being rescued. You are a rescuer, and you have always been a rescuer, and this is your rescue mission. God chose you for this role because He knew you would not abandon the assignment when it got difficult. He saw your heart and He saw your faithfulness, and He entrusted you with a treasure worth fighting for. Jesus says, the final barrier between you and your soulmate is thinner than a single sheet of paper right now. One more push and one more prayer and one more seed and the wall comes crashing down. You are not at the beginning of this journey and you are not in the middle of this journey. You are at the end, and the end is always the hardest part of any breakthrough. The enemy throws everything at you in the final moments because defeat is certain and panic is desperate. Do not mistake the intensity of the battle for evidence that you are losing the war. Your soulmate is closer to you geographically than you assume and closer emotionally than you believe. The distance you perceive is an illusion crafted by interference to make you give up before the finish line. You are not separated by miles but by moments, and the moments are evaporating as you read these words. They are thinking about the future right now, and you are in that future even if they cannot name you. A sense of anticipation is building in their chest and they do not understand why they feel hopeful suddenly. The hope is you and the anticipation is the approach of your arrival into their conscious reality. You will meet them in a way that is simultaneously ordinary and miraculous and mundane and supernatural. It will be a grocery store or a coffee shop or a mutual friend or a message that should have been missed. And it will be none of those things because it will be the hand of God dressed in the clothes of coincidence. Prepare yourself for the moment and prepare your heart and prepare your life and prepare your home. You do not want to meet your destiny with your hands full of clutter and your mind full of confusion. Clear the path and open the door and light the candle and wait with expectant and active faith. The waiting is not passive resignation but active anticipation fueled by the knowledge of impending arrival. You wait like a soldier waiting for rescue and like a lover waiting for the wedding and like a farmer waiting for harvest. The crop is growing and the rescue is coming and the wedding is being prepared in halls you cannot yet see. Jesus says, your soulmate just made a decision that they do not yet realize has changed the trajectory of their life. They said no to something or someone that would have kept them from you for another season. Heaven celebrated that no because it was a yes to you even though they did not know your name. The angels are singing and the demons are scattering and the atmosphere is shifting and the timeline is accelerating. You are about to enter a season of testimony that will make this season of testing make perfect sense. Hold on and hold tight and hold faith because the holding is almost over and the having is almost here. The love you have protected and prayed over and sown into will return to you pressed down and overflowing. Your soulmate will love you more than you dared to hope and more than you knew was possible. And you will know that every coffee and every prayer and every tear was worth the union that is now yours.